Oh, I know I got some Sunday school people in here. He is a reward of them that diligently seek him. Jesus had asked him, shall be given, seek and you shall find. Hitherto you have asked nothing in my name, but ask, that your joy shall be complete. And this is the confidence we have in him, that whatsoever we ask in his name, believe it, he will bring the Father, and he will give it to us. My God, I'm caught in a quandary. I'm the pastor of the church who preaches about faith. Y'all the quandaries who sing about faith. Y'all the church that's supposed to walk by faith. But the truth is, we church on Sunday, but we walk by sight on Monday. Then somebody says, getting hot there tonight. Every step is measured because there's a plan B for everything we do. My faith tells me, trust me. My experience tells me I need a plan B. And I would hesitate to say I'm not just talking about myself. I think there are some other people in here who live your life the same way I do. You want to have faith, but you have a plan. I need all the plan B folk just believe that. And if the person beside you doesn't have their hand on the measurement and say, stop lying. Are we so unsure of God? Are we so unsure of God that we have to have a plan B? Are we so uncertain of what God has promised that we can't just believe it? Has life so hurt us that it's made us doubt whether God will take care of us? I hazard to say today, there's some people in this room who would have to admit, if it hadn't been for the Lord, you wouldn't be here right now. That's somebody say, I know that. And maybe, oh God, I feel like preaching. Maybe, just maybe, 2015 is the year you and I start putting plan B in mothballs and start learning how to walk by faith and declare unequivocally to ourselves and to everybody around us with a face of confidence and an hour of certainty. I know this will work. I need you to think of what you're dealing with in your life. Slap five with the person beside you and say, I know this will work. Oh God, I wish I had somebody who remember that song. Things will work out. Oh my good, do I have anybody in here who believes things will work out for you? Y'all ain't got it like you did. Things will work out. I know. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not guessing about it. I'm not adding it up. I declare it. I stand upon it. I affirm it. I confirm it. This will work. You somebody. You can take your seats for me. My God, I have to understand. Reading both Matthew's and Luke's report of the story of a woman who's been sick for some time, in fact 12 years, and her story is encroached in the story of another family. We have really two families here. The first is the family of a man who is a ruler in the synagogue. He's a big-time church man. And he has a daughter who is 12 years old. She's fallen ill, and the sickness appears to be unto death. And the father leaves everything he's dealing with and makes his way down there to see Jesus. For 12 years, he's had a beautiful baby girl bouncing and growing up in their house. Happiness and love abounded. They watched her take her first steps, watched her do her first words, watched her play games, watched her go outside and bring so much joy to the family. She is his only daughter, the only daughter in the house, and daddies love their daughters. Oh, I wish I had a witness. They love their sons, but their daughters don't look like butter. Some daughters that are going, I know that's the truth. He loves his daughter. For 12 years, she's been such a blessing in there. Wonderful girl. And life for them has been so marvelous. But something happened. Somewhere in these last days of which she's taken ill. The illness has taken her to the very doorstep of death. The father has no recourse but to run and go find Jesus. He's the CEO of the church, of the synagogue. He's the ruler of the synagogue. Means he is the one who assigns people to preach and assigns the various tasks that are done in the synagogue. He is an Orthodox Jew. He's a member of the crowd that really would have wanted Jesus dead. He's Orthodox. He is a straight Jew. The last person you would expect him to go see is this field preacher from Nazareth. Everybody would be looking at him as the leader, the one who walked with his head up. He is the keeper of the keys in the church. He's the one that gets mad with any woman who comes in their pants. He's the one that fusses at youngsters for wearing t-shirts. He's the one that tells young men to pull your pants up. He's the one that gets on choir members for having dangling earrings. He is the leader of the church, the keeper of orthodoxy. He is somebody who people respect as the man who keeps Judaism correct. And here's Jesus who's tearing it apart. But there come some moments in your life, I don't care who you are, when life will push you down to the point where you don't care who's looking at you.
I know that's right.
You don't care who sees you. You got to go where you can find some help. Help me somebody. In broad daylight, he goes to seek out Jesus. But Bob, he has gone to seek out Jesus, not caring what people say, not thinking about who's going to dislike him. Will they put him up on charges? Will they put him up on the deacon board? He could care less, because his daughter is grievously ill, sick unto death, and Jesus may can help him. But at the same time, he's making his way to see Jesus. There's a woman who took sick the same year the baby was born. Y'all miss that. I do not believe it's by accident that these two are juxtaposed together. That one household is happy for 12 years, and one household is sad for 12 years. You never know what's living beside you. Somebody better hear me. You never know the story of the person sitting beside you. We're sitting in Cedar Street tonight, but you don't know what's going on in the life of the person sitting beside you. Oh, I wish I had somebody in here. You know, there was some times you come in looking like everything was fine, but your world was falling apart. For 12 years, one family's been happy. For 12 years, one family's been sad. And I really believe the Lord puts these two together to help us realize that matter where you come from. You can be bourgeois, bumping, poor, and outcast. You can be learned or unlearned. Everybody winds up at the same place one day or another. Can I find somebody who knows that right? Don't ever envy folk who are living God, they go through as much hell as you do, just on a different day and a different way. One family, 12 years of bliss. Another family, 12 years of hell. This woman's been sick. She's an ordinary woman. You have an Orthodox Jew and an ordinary woman. You have one who is the keeper of orthodoxy, and the other was just an English nobody. But they both wind up with a problem they can't solve. God, I wish I had somebody who could appreciate that. I see so many folk wanting to be somebody else. Be yourself.
I know that's right.
And quiet as it's kept, you better pray you can handle your health. Because the truth of the matter is you probably can't handle somebody else. Look at somebody, just look at them. Just look at them and say, nah, baby, you keep yours. Keep yours. Keep yours. I don't want to be you, I want to do. Keep yours. For 12 years. For 12 years, this woman has been ill. Her life has been put on hold. She has an issue of blood. You know, we read the Bible as if it was a comic book or a novel that we don't understand. Somebody said to me once, well, that issue of blood, what happened? She cut herself. I thought to myself, my God. The Bible ain't clear enough. Now, I need you to really get what's been happening to this sister. She has an issue of blood. In other words, and if this is too profound for your babies, just put your hand over their ears. She's been on her menstrual cycle for 12 years. When the cycle is the whole month, she's had them days. I'm trying to say it in an elevated way. Them babies ain't stopped. She's had bio. She taking blood medicine. Somebody gave her Lasix. You name it, girlfriend has taken it. But the days have not ended. Boy. And that's the response. I need to know why there's some sisters here who can understand this is not a place you would want to be. Y'all sound like y'all would not go out there and pray for you. I pray that you can live this thing. Is there any sister here who knows this would not be something you'd be looking forward to? For 12 years, I know some of y'all are saying, hold on. That's what the Bible says happened to this woman. No day was different from the day before, and she saw no end. She's been through it for 12 years, but nobody told her an end in the 12. In fact, she spent all of her money on doctors, gone everywhere, and people had just told her it ain't gonna end. How much did she lose? I need some brothers to let me know how many of you would love to be married to a woman in this space. I need some brothers who will say, oh yeah, I need to hit you. Y'all remember your time, I knew you sit beside your wife and you were going to knock you out of your chair. But you can just bring it in. I understand. For 12 years, this man is asked. By the time of the text, we do not even get the inference that she still has a family. The world is shattered, torn apart, falling apart. On the one hand, we have a father with his daughter, and on the other hand, we have a woman who's lost everything. And on that day, they both meet up, find a way to come down where Jesus is. See, I'm telling you, I can't say this enough. And Cedar Street, you have to understand this in 215. As you look at the folk in Richmond and surrounding areas, there comes a moment when everybody has to deal with what they're going through. And in that moment, they will have to answer two questions. Will you go to Jesus? Will you believe he'll fix it? Oh, God, I don't say anything else. I said something right there. There come two questions that you have, because I mean a lot of folk will go through a lot in 2015 in Richmond, in your family, in your friendship circle. The only two questions that matter are, will you go to Jesus with me? And will you believe that he'll work it out?
Yes, sir.
Do I have anybody in here who knows that's been what's happening in your own spirit? Will you go to him and will you believe? My God, in spite of everything, woman who spent everything, a man who is an Orthodox Jew, up there way down there to see Jesus. Jairus, ruler of the synagogue, goes to him and says, my daughter is ill, can you come to my house? Jesus says, I'll go with you. The crowd watches an Orthodox Jew walk with Jesus. Confusion rises in there, and then a woman comes creeping up and says this. She mumbling under her breath. She sees all the folk in front of her. Everybody's on that she did. I can just tell. And she reaches down and touches it, and all is whole. Jesus spins around and says, somebody touch it. Oh God. Simon Peter looks at it in Luke's gospel and says, of course somebody touched all these people around here. Jesus said, no, that ain't what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about some flip. How you doing? He said, no, somebody really touched you who needed me. And I felt something flow out of the God. Right? I felt something leave me and go to somebody else. Who touched me? The woman said, I got to admit, it was nobody but me. Jesus said, honey, your faith has made you whole. And from that moment on, she went marching up the street and I told you, son. I told you he'd do it. I told you he'd do it. I told you he'd do it. How? And I wanted to know, I asked God, could I talk to Sister Cedar? Because that woman been sick for 12 years, spent every dime she had trying to get well. If anybody should have had a plan B. I mean, how many times can you take emotional defeat? I mean, some women think about being on this joke for 12 years. And the doctors told you to spend it with you up to touching the television screen now when you watch their pillows on TV. But I felt something. You can't stand TV screen. How does a person who's been defeated as many times as she did, how does a person who has had as much go wrong as she's go down there without a plan B? I've had, how many of you know you have had plan B? If it didn't work, you said, well, I was just trying. Didn't work, well, I tried everything else. Why not try this? Didn't work well. I tried it a lot of places. How is it she doesn't have a plan B or something to fall back? I've lived my whole life with something to fall back. And here's the part that I really began to understand that if God has done this much for me and with me, with the limited faith I have, what if I finally put all of my eggs. Tell somebody to tell me on my street now. Because how many of you know you do not have all your eggs in this basket? No, I got to keep a little something. Just in case. And yet, God, I feel like screaming. This woman has been sick
for 12 years.
12 years. Sick. I know. Had I been there with her, I would have been saying, but what if you can't get close to him? But what if he doesn't come down that street? I have been the main one with but, because I believe in plan B. How many of you know we're guilty?
That's right. That's right.
God see us tell the truth on a Wednesday night. Because our eggs in his basket. I ran up the street to catch her, Anthony. I did. I ran up the street while she was shouting, and I interrupted her praise. I interrupted her holy dance, and I stopped and I said, help me understand. How did you do this without
Plan B.
Plan B? Because I'm living 2,000 years later, and I'm living larger than you were. I ain't got nothing but Plan B. She said, oh, you don't understand, baby. You just don't understand. She said, you know what? I spent all my money on cures and nothing has worked. Then she said, but you don't understand what happened. They declared me unclean. That's right. See, I know y'all heard that about Sunday school class. See, she has an issue of blood, but in Jewish tradition and Jewish religion, an issue of blood, and that's the language they use, and we would not say that now. But being on her cycle, or her time of the month, meant she was unclean. She couldn't even go to church. Any chair or bed she laid on, immediately the linen or whatever had to be taken off. She had a stigma attached to her because she was unclean. And now she wasn't unclean for 5 days. Anybody can come up with an excuse to stay in the house for 5 days. I was going to do that to go to work. I had an employee tell me on Tuesday he was going to be out Sunday because he'd be sick. That's the truth. So I won't be here this Sunday, I'm going to be ill. I said, you got that my revelation? She was unclean for 12 years she couldn't darken the door of the sanctuary. For 12 years they snatched up everything she sat up. After a while, people did not want her to meet. Folk did not want to be around her because she caused too much work. Her friendships fell apart. And there comes a time when your situation is one thing, but what your situation is doing to you mentally and emotionally is something else. Oh, I wish I had somebody in here who knows you've been through some things and that was bad enough. But what you went through emotionally almost destroyed you. Come on, don't lie. I know you're saved. Come on, I need some folks who know you almost cracked. Look at somebody say, good back, don't crack, but I almost did. Come on, tell me. Come on, look at somebody say, good back, don't crack, but I almost did it. I almost lost my mind. How many of you in here know you almost went crazy over something? Some things you could not sleep at night, you could not get it together, you couldn't keep it together. The thing you were going through was one thing, but everything that came along with it, oh, Jesus. My God, everything she touches, sleeps sleeps upon since then is declared unclean. She said, you misunderstand. So you think I went down there just to have Jesus heal me? She said, I don't know, baby, you listen to this. She said, listen to what I said. If I can touch the hem of his garment, I'll be made whole. Oh, no, y'all didn't get it. I didn't say I can heal. I said I'd be made whole. Because the sickness and the situation I was dealing with broke me into pieces. Y'all still ain't got it. The fact that I lost my house did more to me than leaving the house. The fact that I lost my job, I also lost my self-respect. I lost my friends. I lost my dignity. Do I have anybody in here who knows that when that husband, that wife walked out on you, you lost friends, you lost friendship circles, you lost places you used to go. People looked at you funny like they smelled something, and people almost wanted to put the red badge of scarlet leather around your neck. The situation was one thing, but what it did to you. Said, I went down there to see Jesus. Because you don't understand. You think I just wanted to reach out and touch his garment. Oh, that's how I said we're getting deep for a second. You think I just wanted to touch the hem of his garment. But in the actual translation, it doesn't say touch the hem of his garment. It says touch the fringe of his garment. Now, most of us know what the fringes are. That's the raggedy ears or something. But in the Hebrew tradition, that's not the fringe. But every good Jew had 4 fringes or tassels that hung from his outer garment. Around the base of it were 4 tassels that represented the fact that that Jew was connected to God. The woman said, I'm coming down here for a cure. I'm coming to finally get reconnected to God. Because if I reconnect to God, the cure will follow. I don't want the cure, I want the reconnection. Oh God, I wish I had somebody in here who understands where I'm coming from. See, a whole lot of folks want God to do something for them, but what they really need to do is reconnect with Him. She hadn't been in church in 12 years. She hadn't heard holy, holy, holy in 12 years. She said, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I will feel that reconnection. I will feel God come all over me. Do I have anybody in here who knows that when you make that connection, dreams get birthed? You get inspiration in your life. All of a sudden you feel stronger than ever before. Have you ever felt like you could run through valleys and jump over mountains, that somehow God had taken all 5 of his fingers and laid them on you in such a way that you will feel from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Look at somebody and tell them it's about a reconnection. A whole lot of folks want God to fix something, but the best thing God's going to fix is you. My God, I feel like dancing on that myself. Can you look at somebody and tell them I need to reconnect? Have you ever been so down that you just couldn't get it together? That's not a moment to go out and get some gin or smoke weed or get somebody else. That's the time you got to reconnect with God and let God put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Pick up the fallen pieces of your life and put some crazy glue of grace on you so that you can come out looking better than you did when you went in. Do I have anybody here who knows that God can make you look better after the problem than you did before the problem? He can make you look wiser after the problem than before the problem because you have reconnected. Sit down, man. I don't know what's wrong. You scared me when you stand that long. Yeah. You got this thing wrong. You think I'm running down there to get cured of this problem? I've learned after 12 years. I've learned how to live with this. And I myself back together. And I want to serve notice on anybody who thinks that you're called to live broken. That's the last place you're called to live. God wants to fix you up every day of the week. If you let anything or anybody or any situation keep you away from Him,
I know that's right.
Bring you where He is and let Him put you back together. Do I have anybody in church today that remembers when the Lord puts you back together? I gave you this back five to somebody tell me it was the best day of my life. I went home with the same problems, but I went home a different person. I went home with a different outlook. I didn't fall apart, cry apart, or anything else. I went home feeling good. Wait a minute, sister. How did you know this was wrong? Because I have to tell you, I've had plan B. I've had something. I have to explain when I got back to the report. I would work on that at least part of a ride down. I would be prepared for them to block. Not get so much. Oh, no.